Hey there you guys, so this is a pretty interesting week in gaming, so I figured I'd just round up some of the biggest things that I thought were newsworthy that happened inside of Nintendo, PlayStation, and just gaming overall. Before we hop into the video though, you guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe down below. It definitely means tons to me. And with that, let's hop into the video. So Nintendo has officially began ramping up their marketing for March 10th or Mario Day. So on March 9th, if you didn't know, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct to show off the last trailer for the Mario movie. On March 9th, they also have the Booster Course Pack Wave 4 courses releasing. They officially announced the courses being Amsterdam Drift, Riverside Park, DK Summit, Yoshi's Island, which is a new course, Bangkok Rush, Mario Circuit, Waluigi Stadium, and Singapore Speedway, alongside also bringing new character Birdo. Besides that, they also announced a new Switch bundle. It's a bundle with the old Nintendo Switch, not the OLED. But alongside that, they have a choose your own Mario game bundle. So the games you can choose are Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and New Super Mario Bros. U. Alongside those, they also give you some Mario movie stickers, and this is all going to be totaled at a price of $29.99. I think overall it's not a bad bundle, but if you already have a Nintendo Switch, I'm assuming you already have these games, so it's not really a bundle I'd recommend for someone who already has a Nintendo Switch. But for those looking for a new Nintendo Switch, it's a good bundle for you guys. Suspiciously unrelated to Mario, on March 9th, they also announced their first game that they're adding into the GBA that's not the 6 titles that were originally there. They're bringing Metroid Fusion from the GBA. So if you guys haven't played Metroid Fusion, this is a sequel to Super Metroid, and this is also the game right before Metroid Dread. So it's going to be pretty cool that we finally have the complete 3 storylines all on one console now. I do think, however, it is really strange for them to also be dropping this on March 9th. So I feel like a lot of stuff is happening March 9th, and I feel like a lot more than just the Mario movie trailer stuff is going to be dropping that day. So I'm pretty excited for March 9th now. I'm hoping they announce a lot of stuff going forward. I'm also hoping that this isn't the only game that they're announcing to Nintendo Switch Online. I mean, it's fine if it's the only GBA game because it is a very solid GBA game. I'm just hoping that they're not just gonna still do the whole drip feed 1 game a month type of thing. It was cute at first because you're still getting the hang of the NSO thing, but now we're pretty strong in the NSO. You should have it all figured out by now, and you should have a pretty solid way of delivering multiple games at 1 month. I mean, hopefully. This is Nintendo we're talking about though. And then Kotaku recently had an interview with Miyamoto regarding his retirement and whether or not they believes that Nintendo would change with or without Miyamoto there. And Miyamoto responded with, "It's not like there's a lot of different opinions that go back and forth. Everyone has an understanding, this kind of shared understanding of what it is to be Nintendo. And so even when there's new ideas that come up, there's always the fact that it's a new idea, but also the fact that is it a new idea that really has the essence of Nintendo or not?" And I think that's something, we have this incredible shared vision, almost a little scary shared vision. I feel like this quote that Miyamoto said definitely highlights this Nintendo way of thinking, their philosophy on video games, and the way they develop their talent internally. I feel like this is the reason why most Nintendo games have this kind of shared DNA within them, whether it be Kirby games or Mario games or Zelda games. They all have this same kind of energy and feel within Nintendo, where it's very gameplay focused, very accessible to everybody. And I feel like that's what kind of keeps Nintendo going and why it's always going to be shared among new generations of players. And I mean, even like though Miyamoto is a big part of the company, it's not like he's really developing these games anymore. He's kind of just more alongside other different projects like Nintendo World and the Mario movie. Even though I'm sure he is like helping out with the thought process of these games, he's not the actual developer anymore. I feel like potentially one of the biggest things that happened for Nintendo this week was definitely because of the Pokemon Presents. They finally announced Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. Yay! No, seriously. After the Pokemon Presents, it was very middling. No one was very excited about it until people started pointing out a 4chan post that was spotted a couple of days before the Pokemon Presents, where someone inside the working on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet reached out and pretty much leaked a bunch of details that were going to be involved in the Pokemon Presents, and he got everything spot on. But the thing that was most exciting was at the end of his post, he was mentioning how they're working on a new graphics patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to drop during the DLC 2 pack that's coming out in the winter. He also casually mentioned how this new graphics patch is gonna be because they're working for the Switch 2 version of this DLC, and that got people excited. It got people talking about whether this rumor is true or whether it's not true. I can't say whether it's true or not. I don't know what to believe. I'm just here waiting for the next Switch. When it comes, it comes. But it is fun to hear people kind of speculate on when it comes or if it does come or whether or not this is accurate or not. Well, I guess only time will tell whether or not this is accurate or not. So on the PlayStation side of things, Sony recently got ordered by the FTC to share all their PlayStation exclusivity contracts to Xbox ahead of the upcoming trial in summer in regards to the acquisition of Activision and Blizzard. I feel like this is the time when PlayStation starts to get a little nervous and start to realize maybe they messed a little bit too far. They questioned a little bit too much. But definitely, I feel like a lot of things are going to come to light with this exclusivity contracts coming out to people. Whether or not we get any information on it is yet to be seen. But PlayStation is definitely a company that likes to buy out their exclusivities with companies. And I feel like a lot of things are going to be coming to light as far as how much they actually spend on this. And in comparison to this Activision Blizzard, like, I don't know how equal to equal it's going to seem. But Xbox definitely believes that it's going to make Sony look a lot bigger than Sony's been trying to make it out to be. I know Sony's been trying to make Xbox look like they're the big dog, big corporation, and Sony's the little underdog. But I think we all know that Sony isn't a little underdog when it comes to the gaming space, that they're definitely the market leader, and I definitely feel like the FTC is going to have to reevaluate some of the things they've been saying. PlayStation did announce their Mega March sale. This begins March 1st to March 15th, and it's going to be on select PS4 and PS5 titles. Some of the titles I decided to highlight was Deliver Us Mars. This is a recent release that came out last month with pretty good reviews. Death's Door, this is an indie title that was published by Devolver Digital, and we all know Devolver Digital delivers some pretty solid games. And then the most interesting one that I thought was the Callisto Protocol, the Deluxe Edition. So for the PS4 it's $55.99, and for the PS5 it's $62.99. So these actually make them cheaper than the regular PS4 and regular PS5 versions. And I know a lot of people didn't want to check this game out. It came out to some pretty subpar reviews, but I don't know, maybe at this price people might want to purchase it. If not, I'm sure it's going to be a title that drops even further down, but it's something to put on your radar, I guess. GamesIndustry.biz had an interview with Shawnee Benson. Shawnee Benson is the head of the third-party portfolios and acquisitions for Sony, and they pretty much discuss Sony's strategy on making PlayStation the best place to play. Benson was quoted saying, "In the past, we would look at things that were closer to release because they were known quantities. The way I lead my team now is a lot more future thinking and thinking about what does the next 3 to 5 years look like from a gaming perspective." I feel like this is important to consider the fact that PlayStation has been acquiring tons of studios, and some of these studios haven't really delivered any games yet or delivered anything tangible for us to look at least. So I think it's very interesting that PlayStation is looking at things more long term, and it's definitely like reflects some of their gameplay strategies, why they've been a little bit slower with releasing games, I think. And overall, I think this is going to be more noticeable in the upcoming months and years for the PS5. I also think it's interesting how it looks like PlayStation wants to be the only console someone has, where someone like Xbox is trying to make sure that their games are on every console. It's just really interesting to see the different mind strategies that they're doing, the different business mindsets that they all have, and I'm kind of curious to see what consumers choose as the best way to play their games. On a completely different story, PlayStation really recently announced their collaboration with LeBron James and coming out with some accessories for the PS5. So they have a new PS5 face cover that LeBron James supposedly helped design. They also have a new DualSense controller that's again, supposedly inspired by LeBron James. I love LeBron James. He's my man. He's super cool and genuine, I think. But I saw the product. It doesn't really look great. I mean, I guess if you're a diehard LeBron James fan, you're gonna check this one out. But other than that, I'm gonna be missing this one. So for the third parties, we have Capcom that recently announced via Twitter that it's gonna have its own Spotlight event, and this is gonna be taking place again March 9th. Some of the titles that they said that we can expect to see include Resident Evil 4 Remake, Exo Primal, Monster Hunter Rise, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, and Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I feel like this is when they announced the demo for Resident Evil 4 Remake. They kind of promised that said coming soon, so I feel like this is the time that you announce that. As far as Exo Primal, I think we're still waiting on a release date for that one, so I think this would be a good time to announce that. And also maybe a demo for Exo Primal because it is a very interesting game. I don't know how much hype people have surrounding it. And then as far as the other three titles, we'll just have to see what they say. But yeah, again, so the Capcom Spotlight event is going to be on March 9th, and it's going to be taking place 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. I feel like I said March 9th a lot in this video, and it's kind of weird, just so many things in gaming happening that day. I don't know if there's like, I mean, I guess people are trying to like rush out for their end of their fiscal year, but very specifically March 9th is kind of weird. Level 5 announced previously that they're going to be holding an event similar to like a Capcom Spotlight. They're calling it Level 5 Vision. And this is where they're just going to be showing off their plans for the year, titles that they have coming out, like the new Fantasy Life game. They have a new Professor Layton game. They have Deca Police. And then director Akihiro Hino has also been teasing a new game that'll follow in the same vein as Yokai Watch. I mean, he's been teasing this for a little bit. It'd be really exciting to see something along that veins, or even a Yokai Watch 5 come out. But after so much time without it seeing any Yokai Watch, and also with the little success it had in the West, who knows how long? Who knows if we're gonna see anything on that day? The anime is taking a break, and he did say he has plans for Yokai Watch during the break. So I mean, there's not no possibility. There's just some possibility. That's just a lot of the stuff that I thought was really exciting that happened this week in gaming. I feel like a lot of it is setting up for next week. I think we're going to have a lot of interesting and fun things to talk about next week. So check back into the channel if you guys are interested in some of this stuff. With that, let me know if there's anything that you guys are excited to see next week. Maybe Capcom announces something crazy cool or something from Level 5. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video though.